I hope this video saves you or someone a lot of time. What I mean by this is I am talking to you about my different brain that is neurodiverse or different from most people in the population. I'm in Canada, so I will say Canadian, but it goes for anyone in the world. But the reason for me telling you this is I'm going to be telling you a bit of my life story. So you see any elements of this in yourself or someone that you know, I would suggest to at least start looking around on the internet and see if it resonates with you. At the very least, I would suggest for you to self-identify as one of the labels that I'm going to be talking about, or if you really want to know more about yourself and if you have the funds or have access to this, I would recommend people to go for assessment, but it can be expensive. So look at your situation and go from there. So from the beginning, and with a very high level of stuff about my life. So I can talk more about details later. But when I was born to under 3 years old, I don't know because I was too young to remember. But when children start to speak, I did not speak. For quite a while, I couldn't speak. And I don't know. I don't think people who know me know why, but I was delayed in my speech. So that was one of the things that people may want to look out for. And also, when I started speaking, as you can tell, I do have a speech impairment. So that's never tell sign that something may be going on. But here's when I can apply some labels to myself, is when I was in school, I was having trouble with reading and writing. And I don't mean just, that's called dyslexia. And I was having a harder time with my writing, dysgraphia. And my handwriting was not very good. I mean, written handwriting wasn't very good, and it was probably very difficult for my teachers to read. So they got me a little computer, and there was a little screen of LCD, and I was typing it on the computer or laptop, and it probably was helping the teachers to able to read what I was writing. And I also have dysgraphia, which means problems with math. And I don't know for me, what I do to overcome these challenges is nowadays I have a cell phone in the computer that I'm recording on. And there's software in the computer, as you may know or may not know, something called Siri on my phone, where I can dictate it and it comes out pretty accurate most of the time. And also on my computer that I have Windows 11, and there's something called a screen reader or reader, where I can put in my words and it will talk back to me. So before ChatGPT, I was using this to get better with my writing, so other people can understand me. Because before this, my friends online that I knew, they said I cannot understand. And actually, when we started reading write, at the time I did have this software, and he said, please turn that on, and so I can understand you better. So that's something that people may, hopefully you can identify. Hopefully, if you have this difficulty, you can see this in yourself, and you can take next steps. And so that was in my school, and so what I was getting help on was my speech and my writing and my math. And it was at the time embarrassing, but as an adult, I understand why my parents were doing this. And I am also glad for that has happened, because now after my diagnosis last year, I'll get into this a little bit later. I am actually walking in. I have walked into people helping me with my work, like to be more focused and more calm. So, going to college, actually throughout school, I had extra time on my tests because of what I discussed earlier. But going to college, my first year of college, I was in a program where it's like, here's how you get a job and keep a job for people with different brains like I do versus neurodiverse. So in one of the classes, they were saying, here's this piece of software that actually has helped even the teacher. And it's called Screen Reader. I'm not going to say the name because I have asked the company if that's okay to say that, but it has greatly improved my reading and writing since 2001, I believe. And so I've been using that ever since 2001, and actually greatly improved my reading abilities. And my understanding is fine. Just the in and out part is difficult. It's difficulty compared to the norm. It's just different, I should be saying. So, when I was going for my jobs, I was telling people I was having difficulty reading and writing in interviews. And there's a lot of people who probably didn't understand what I was saying, or sometimes other people may be better qualified, the same qualifications, and did have this difference. So I probably got passed over by a lot of jobs because of this. But in my opinion, it's good to let people know what's going on before they hire you. It's just me I think it's good to be honest. So that's why I think it's a good idea. And so that's my dyslexia, speech impairment, and my learning disabilities. I do have learning disabilities with short-term memory. So, and last year, around now, which is November 2024, I believe, probably would have been, or maybe September, in the fall of 2024, I got my assessment. And from other tests I got done, I got tested for ASD or autistic. So they revealed I am autistic level 1, which is I'm highly functional. I can get a job, keep a job, look out for myself, drive a car, so on and so forth. But what autistic means, to my understanding, and I'm still learning this out myself, but it's a difference of social life. And what I noticed that I've been told this is I probably overlook cues, like social cues, or I misinterpret them, and I probably take stuff a little bit too direct. Like if someone says, as a joke, someone says, okay, go and do this, I probably think they're being seriously, and I go and do that. So, I take it stuff literally. That's the word I'm looking for. And I have a hard time, depending on what's going on, I have a hard time understanding what people's intentions are when they talk to me. And also, this leads me into my ADHD, and I am combined ADHD. And when someone tells me to do this or that, it's hard for me to understand. Sometimes hard for me to interpret like which one is higher priority, or if someone gives me 4 or 5 things at once, I have a hard time remembering what they even said. So that's my ADHD brain at work. And since the DMS-5 came out, from my understanding, you can have ADHD and being autistic or Asperger's at the same time, and there's a new term for that. And it's not official, but it's a new term that people have used. And it's called AuDHD. It's AuDHD, which is autistic and ADHD combined in one person. And yeah, so we were just talking about my various experiences, and my labels were where I see myself, like what labels I have and what my my traits are. And hopefully this in hopes for you to see this in yourself or others, and for people to take the next steps. And I also want to tie this off with my AI work. I've been teaching people how to use AI in a smart way. What I mean by this is I don't want to show people how to use AI. I want to show people how to think with AI. So when something changes, and it has, and it will, they can adapt with it without going back to the drawing board like, oh my God, this is not working. I want me to show people on how to adapt with the changes. So when something comes out, people can, oh, this is new, let me play with it. It's not scary, it's just new and better, hopefully better. And so that information's in the description if you're in Canada. If you're not in Canada, and if you're in Canada, please subscribe to this video and make a comment. And if you're especially working with me or you're neurodiverse, I like to hear from you directly. So send me a note in my email or make a comment on this video. And if you know someone who knows someone, please share this information with other people, because I would like to help people as much as I can. Anyway, with that all being said and done, I wish you a great day.